the president has seen great personality in what celebrating nationally.
Exactly.
And that person is extending a hand to somebody our media has made people think, on the way bonini, on the way wicked, he's heartless. This guy, he doesn't respect. It should tell you that sometimes we shouldn't judge the actions of people, but we should try to understand what they have been through, which has caused them to be who they are. When you sit down to ask yourself, why is it that the media keep making Shatta Wale, or the traditional media keep making Shatta Wale look this way? But people who have gone through the process, understand the male, would love to have a piece of him. So those are part of their human existence. But the most important thing is, what impact are they making? And that is the impact that the veterans wish they had during their era. Because when you hear some of the things some of these veterans went through during their era, remember during that time there was cassettes. Some of them didn't even see a chicken feed from the sale of any of their CDs. Some of them even feel shy to discuss how they were making money. In fact, how they are making money now. Some, it is the presidency that still take care of them. You see, and it is very disheartening. They didn't have anybody to fight for them. Look, gone were the days that we used to fight wars with the Yas and Twa and the rest. Right now, it is not those kind of war. social war, community war, business war. Yeah. And if you don't have that leader to put out his head and say, I'll sacrifice and make sure this thing works out. Trust me, you all be at the same table, always begging promoters. Imagine before, a promoter can slap an artist, a promoter can shout on an artist. But today, you need to even beg the artist PA before you can even talk to the artist.
Yeah.
And it was all thanks to who? If not Shatta Wale.
Made it possible.
Ride or drive with Shaxi. Download the Shaxi ride-hailing app and sign up as a driver or rider. Get Shaxi today from the Google Play and Apple App Store today.
Two topics are on my table for a deeper conversation with Long John the blogger, because only around, sir, and finally he is back into the studio, and it just feels right that we also have our share of these conversations. My name is Sammy Flex. This is the real talk right here on Sammy Flex TV. Just so you know, I'm here with my producers, Theophilus the Gosh Desert, Sam Tuga, and the people's favorite man, aka the fireman, Long John, is in the building today. If you see the way Long John came, you would feel that DJ Slim will be under pressure. They sing because
I don't blame you, Brad. I blame you, Brad. Oh, Charlie.
If you see the way Long John is appearing in some brown shadows. Hi, Tom Brown. This is the proper Tom Brown. May I sure say he is throwing a challenge to DJ.
Oh, no.
He's throwing a challenge to DJ. Said DJ Slim also share suit in the jackets. Everest in a mission.
No.
London, how is life though?
Charlie, Rover.
Yeah, no, today you are looking fly.
I beg you.
Why? It's a wedding level now.
No, the whole thing is, you know what I was engaged with, right?
I don't know.
I was quite engaged the whole of yesterday.
Yeah,
so Rain locked me up in town, and so that's why, say if like I reach one on my side, it would be difficult to come here. So I for balance up. But the last thing I would do is come here and then try to know. I want to just be like, you are just normal people.
I know, right?
It has nothing to do with Slim or anybody.
I know, right? Well, so that was just by the way. But quick one. Agya Koo Nimo's request to meet Shatta Wale, play a show with him, and at least have some tete-a-tete with him before the good Lord calls him or the Maker calls him, has been a conversation that has been running on the media platforms, various media platforms in Ghana. And as it stands, maintain Long John the Waka. And because he is a blogger extraordinary, someone who speaks with all the vim and vigor in him, I would want to get his opinion on this. And remember, I think I've also spoken on some other platforms and I've said, say, the team is making preparations, thinking about something meaningful, something that will be part of the legacy that Agya Koo Nimo has actually made in his life. Long John, let me get your opinion on this before we move on to other business on the day.
I think this is one of the reasons why Shatta Wale decided to be who he is.
Okay.
And I believe this should be a testament to what the new artists in the country should learn from.
Okay.
You see, we have been in a country where people who are not in the craft basically sit anywhere and then point fingers at artists. People who do not understand why artists see certain things.
Yeah.
If you should study something or a terrain within the sports industry,
Okay.
you notice that with coaches, anytime a coach has been a player and is coaching players, usually the players seems to like sync with the coach more because they believe he understands what they go through at
he
one
has
moment.
been in their position before.
This is exactly what is happening, being played out here because in this situation currently, we know the problem. And you see, let me start it this way. Our veterans have always loved Shatta Wale. How did I notice? You know, I produce Fifi Pratt.
Yes, I know.
And by God's grace, our program is one of the shows that we have most of the veterans pass through.
True.
Even the late Dada Kedi, one of the artists he favorited among the current crop of artists was Shatta Wale.
Oh,
Yes.
I see.
And I think that video when I put it went viral. That's when you sit down to ask yourself, you ask yourself, why is it that the media keep making Shatta Wale or the traditional media keep making Shatta Wale look this way? But people who have gone through the process, understand the male, would love to have a piece of him.
True.
You ask yourself that question, then you come to the realization then again with the sports example I gave that you see, because there's a saying that he who feels it knows it. Because you are not or you have never been a musician, so you will not understand. Recently, I watched an interview of Amrado and Zion Felix, and he was actually discussing how his first trip in Europe went. And according to him, when he traveled to Germany, he got to the airport and he was calling the promoter to tell him that he wanted his hotel.
So that he can go
and rest. The promoter looked him like spoke to me on phone and told him that this is your first time in Europe. Don't come and pressurize. Take your time. I'm not telling you that. Yes, go and watch the interview with Zion Felix. I'm not telling you that's what you are telling me. He told him that if you come here, I'll beat you. And when he got there, he beat him.
Hey!
Yes. You see, what are we talking about? This is what Shatta Wale has been preaching about.
This is serious.
But if you are not an artist,
you won't understand.
You won't understand. You'll be like, why is Shatta Wale attacking Okreku Mante? Why is Shatta Wale? These are astute people. Why is he doing that? But you don't know what he has gone through in the hearts of those people. Until you are in their shoes. Do you understand? So when tomorrow you see Amrado sit on TV saying, I beat the promoter. It's not because he's threatening promoters that when you meet him and misbehave with him, he'll beat you.
Yeah.
No, but if you look at some of the attitudes some of these people put up towards our artists, just because they are giving them bread, they want to downplay them. They want to imagine being in your office and I come to your office to trash talk you, and you have somebody like Shatta Wale sticking his head up, risking his career, risking his music, risking everything that can give him food, to say I'm going to fight all the system one by one. Must say he's the devil. He's every evil name you've given to Shatta Wale. But you see, when God knows your heart, the mouth of men can never run you down. When God knows your heart, whatever people will say can never run you down. Today we have a legend who is at 94 years.
Hey.
Telling Shatta Wale that he wants to perform with him before he dies. Do you understand the meaning of that statement?
It's deep.
We have found a regular.
It
It means every achievement he has had in his life, his greatest joy to seal it all up is to be on the same stage with the guy you call the devil, the guy you've painted the evil one. That is who a 94 years old man is telling you, I want to have before I leave.
No, this is true. Do you know, it was not long before I think before he made the statement, it was not long, and President Mahama also had said the state should make sure they celebrate the man before he dies. I don't know if you are aware.
Really?
Yes! At the launch of the Black Star Experience, President Mahama has actually given a task to the Honorable Minister of Creative Arts and Tourism, as well as the Black Star Experience chairman, that is Rex Omar. The president has given them that task, that they should celebrate Agya Koo Nimo before he dies.
So you see,
and at the time that they are preparing to do the celebration, then the gentleman or the legendary comes to say he would want to have something to do with Shatta Wale. And I said, okay, it is coming home.
you see, it's so simple. And you see, this is someone whom the president has seen great personality in, worth celebrating nationally.
Exactly.
And that person is extending a hand to somebody our media has made people think, on the way bonini, on the way wicked, he's heartless. This guy, he doesn't respect. It should tell you that sometimes we shouldn't judge the actions of people, but we should try to understand what they have been through, which has caused them to be who they are.
Of course.
You understand? Without Shatta Wale, this Ghanaian music industry is going to be a very dormant and nonchalant. I was listening to some of his conversation with what's the name, Firestick, earlier on today before I came here.
Okay.
And he was discussing how much his first $1 million he made. I mean, good cash he made from music. And that was 10 shows he played for Joy Daddy.
Okay.
Is it Casapreco? Sorry.
He has done something with Joy Daddy before too.
Joy Daddy.
Yes.
I don't know if Joy Daddy, one of their alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
He did 10 shows with them and he collected, according to him, he charged 400,000 Ghana cedis. When he charged that amount, they told him that it's 10 shows, so he should reduce it. Then he decided to give them 300,000 Ghana cedis. So for the 10 shows, according to him, it was 3 million Ghana cedis. That was the awakening call for him that made him realize, so I can charge this amount of money and I was taking chicken change. Mind you, at that time, they said during that era, I think that was 2016, 2017. When Ghanaian Sammy heard Shatta Wale had paid, Bulare had paid Shatta Wale 80,000 Ghana cedis to perform at S concert. Nobody believed.
Yeah.
Imagine at that time, 2016, our artists can't even charge 100,000 Ghana cedis. They were charging, somebody like Shatta Wale charging 80,000 Ghana cedis.
And it was miraculous.
And Samini didn't want to believe that it's true. Shatta Wale charged that money. So how much was Samini charging by then? How much was Samini? You see, I'm so appreciative of the fact that now the modern media is now opening the eyes of people. And Shatta Wale has decided to speak to certain issues to make them understand. So that when you sit back and you see people lying to you that it was this artist that was pushing for a pay rise, and you realize that it is a lie. Anybody who has been in the industry will tell you how Shatta Wale has been commanding figures in this industry, including his own manager. His own manager will go and charge a show and he will tell you, Master, this money you carry come there. No, for increase some for drop. That is who Shatta Wale is. So if you hear somebody tomorrow, Shatta Wale sitting somewhere and telling you, I am the one increasing prices of artists, he's not saying it to brag, but he knows what he's going through, because the artists you want to give that praise to, if they are to show you receipt of how much they charge, you realize that Shatta was far gone. Do you understand? And there's an artist who so when you look at his life, whatever he has done in his life, let's take out all the negatives. The positive stuff is done. He didn't even fight for himself.
He fought for the whole industry.
He fought for and that is why.
And those who saw it or those who experienced it today, they confess.
Yes, yeah. And look, watch it. Watch his financial growth, and watch his protege medical's financial growth. Watch the category of medical, the people who blew within that period. Watch the assets medical owns, and watch medical. If any of them can be on the same level as medical. So if Shatta Wale is telling you to follow his blueprint, it is not a thing of pride. He knows how he moves when it comes to business. And these are the people we should be learning from. Forget their negatives. Of course, they are human. That is why they are humans. Omonya Sintoa, or how do you call it? Omonya Sintoa, or if they don't have shortcomings, I don't believe
you wouldn't know their human side.
Yes. So those are part of their human existence. But the most important thing is what impact are they making? And that is the impact that the veterans wish they had during their era. Because when you hear some of the things some of these veterans went through during their era, remember during that time there was cassettes. Some of them didn't even see a chicken feed from the sale of any of their CDs. Some of them even feel shy to discuss how they were making money. In fact, how they are making money now. Some, it is the presidency that still take care of them. You see, and it is very disheartening. They didn't have anybody to fight for them. Look, gone were the days that we used to fight wars with the Yas and Twa and the rest. Right now, it is not those kind of war. It is social war, community war, business war.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that leader to put out his head and say, I'll sacrifice and make sure this thing works out. Trust me, you all be at the same table, always begging promoters. Imagine before, a promoter can slap an artist, a promoter can shout on an artist. But today, you need to even beg the artist PA before you can even talk to the artist.
Yeah.
And it was all thanks to who? If not Shatta Wale
made it possible.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it is in the right sense when the legend decides to pick out of all Ghanaian artists, the one they claim is very truant, the one they claim is very radical, the one they claim doesn't respect, because it is those eyes, the eyes of the legends, that see through what you, the canal man or the young guy, can't see. You will paint a picture of him being stubborn. You will paint a picture of him speaking anyhow. But if you have a colleague artist who has been through the mill, you support every single cause Shatta Wale is on.
Well spoken, well delivered by Long John. Obviously, that is what the legend is looking for. And I can tell you that, like I said earlier, preparations are ongoing for us to continue with the legacy that the man has built. Over the weekend, I granted some interviews on, I think, Star FM and Fachet TV. And the same thing I was telling them that, yeah, this is an exciting call. We at Shatta Movement, we are very excited about this. And we will make sure something good happens before we drop this chapter for the next chapter. So watch out for that. This has been the Real Talk right here on Sammy Flex TV with man like Long John. You should know the week has started and we are here with you. Stay tuned and let us do more. My name is Sammy Flex. Special thanks to Long John for coming through and to the producers, Theophilus Degosh, Desert, and Sammy Tuga. Subscribe to us. Let's read your comments because we do this with you. We are out of here. Salute.
Everybody check now. Check it. Fa check it. Fa check it. Check it. The beat is real. Don't wait, make it kill ya. Get your green select glucometer and check it. Sugar level, check it, check it. Fa check it, check it. Fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Green select glucometer, check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Put sugar level, fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Green select glucometer. Everybody check now.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.